It is not our culture, so there is no way, like literally no way you can say by us doing Ubungoma, it's us going back to isigo. What sigo? No. And then you want to come back here and say, you are not under a cult.
A lot of people will always say Christianity is a religion. Before Christianity came, we never had religion in Africa. But it's also very interesting to note that Gogo Skhotheni says Ubungoma is actually a religion. And she also goes on to say that it's a cult. And I quite agree with it. In fact, the whole idea of African spirituality, it's just African religion. This is how it's always been termed. This is a religion because it's always got to do with rituals. Religion is always about rituals, right? In fact, people, when they say Christianity is a religion, I think they're completely false to me. You can say Christianity is a religion if you are trying to study it and classify it within the other belief systems, right? You can say this is the Christian religion. But I think that what we are advocating for in Christianity is a relationship that you can have between you and God. And it's a relationship that's not mediated by another human being. This is the difference between Christianity and African spirituality. African spirituality is a cult. It's also as religious as they come. Because everything, you got to always slaughter to the ancestors. You always got to find a way to communicate to the ancestors. The ancestors are not God. Right? They are human beings just like you and me. So if you are looking for a man-made religion, go to the cult of Ubungoma, where human beings are dictating what you believe. Human beings are dictating how you should live your life, telling you that you should slaughter and do all these things. But even more than that, you also have other human beings like Sangoma, like Okobela, where you can't even communicate with these ancestors. You have to go and consult them. This is as religious as anything can get. Even the rituals, the sacrifices that are required. And that's why when Christianity comes, or when Jesus Christ comes, you'll find that he clashes so much with the Pharisees, because Jesus is advocating for relationship, right? And the Pharisees are advocating for rituals. It's about festivals. You got to go to the temple. You got to keep the Sabbath. You got to do it's all these religious things and rules and regulations. And Christ says, well, all of those rules and regulations mean nothing if your heart is far away from God. But I think in African spirituality, if you've slaughtered, if you've consulted, it doesn't really matter what the condition of your heart is. It doesn't matter that there are things that need to change in your heart. As long as we can just chase away the evil spirits, we can go and consult, pay the Sangoma or the Nyanga. And that's it. So this is why I agree with Gogo Skhotheni when she says this. But I want you guys to watch this video, and then I'll share a little bit on some thoughts on what I think about what she is saying at the end.
It is not our culture, so there is no way, like literally no way you can say by us doing Ubungoma, it's us going back to isigo. What sigo? No. And then you want to come back here and say, you are not under a cult. Uthwasa hayiba kwethu. I-cult nje ingahlangani nje ne-gift yakho. Talking outside, going to a Sangoma should be your last stage, Monde, in life. Ubungoma, it's not your calling. Ubungoma, it has nothing to do with your gift. Ubungoma, it was something, a religion that was formed by a person of Ananami now. Well, I asked the question, Manje, before I got disturbed in my life, Uti. If I'm a Gobela, right? I'm a Gobela, sharp. Now, I have a gift, right? I have a calling, sharp. Now, Uliana, sengiyahambe emhlabeni ngithatha lesikhwama ngithi mina uLiana mele asithathe lesikhwama. Is that a gift? Nah. Is that a gift that Uliana has been given, or is it a leftover? Kanti, isn't it a gift that you are given by your ancestors and God? So mina mangithatha isikhwama ngimnikeza uLiana, ngithini kuLiana? What am I saying? That's not it. That's not a gift. Now, that's not Liana's gift. Manje ngifuna ukwazi ukuthi nina enishiyelwe ikhwama kwathiwa qhubeka nani. You see why I'm saying Ubungoma has nothing to do with your gift. Now, uma ngikunikeza isikhwama, mangikunikeza isikhwama ngikushiya ngaso, you are not born with it. Ushiyelwe, that's why mele ufunde. So uyofunda ke, uyofundiswa ukuthi kwenziwa kanje, ufundiswa ukuthi wenziwa kanje. Now, if you are saying, I can give Uliana Ubungoma and say it's a gift from me. Right? I can give Uliana Ubungoma and say it's a gift from me. Kanjani. Isn't that spirit has to align with God? A gift, you need to be born with it. Everyone is called, but only a few are chosen. Only few are chosen. Now, Ubungoma is not your culture. Ubungoma, it is not your culture. If it was your culture, you are not going to slaughter the same animals, which is goats. You are not going to slaughter the same animals. You are not, because I'm Sutu, he's Zulu, he's Xhosa, he's Pedi, he's Venda, but you are slaughtering the same thing. It's not isikoletu. It is not our culture. It is not our culture. So there is no way, like literally no way you can say by us doing Ubungoma, it's us going back to Isigo. What Sigo? No. You guys like to involve politics where it shouldn't be, where it shouldn't be in, like where you shouldn't even involve it. Ubungoma is a cult, is a sacrifice. You are sacrificing. You are having an agreement with the forces. To understand. Now, you don't have to sacrifice anything. You don't have to sacrifice anything in order for you to understand your gift. You don't have to sacrifice anything. Now, Ubungoma, it's you sacrificing, right? Your life, right? Uvuma into ekuwena ukuthi uyisebenzise. Why do you have to sacrifice into ekuwena? Why? It's like if you're beautiful, you have to sacrifice your beauty. In which way? Because already you are beautiful.
So I definitely think that Ubungoma is the cult of the dead, and I think Gogo Skhotheni nails it really when she says this is actually about what a human being has instructed you to do. A lot of people, if they're facing a crisis in their lives, they go to Sangoma. He is going to instruct them. But if you go to another Sangoma, that Sangoma will say, no, that guy was wrong. You should actually do it like this. So you can see that these people are not having one sort of direct line where this is the truth, but everyone is actually giving you the man-made ideas and solutions. And these things don't even help people, right? Because I mentioned in one of my first couple of videos, where I was reacting to a video by Usiam Kize. Basically, where he was saying, if Isangoma heals you from some kind of thing, like maybe somebody put his trito, something that will bring bad luck to you, when he heals you, he actually takes that thing back to the person who sent it. But the problem is the person who is on the other side and receives that and also finds that, oh, now I have bad luck because this thing is back with me. The only way that Sangoma Inyanga is going to deal with that evil spirit is actually to send it back, not actually offering a genuine solution to the people. So this is just people playing games with people's lives. This is one of the things why Africans are actually so, so poor, so confused, no direction, because they're basing their lives on what other people are saying, right? I think the Bible tells us that blessed is the man whose hope and faith is not in another man. So Christianity doesn't call you to put faith in another human being, to have your life dictated by human beings, I mean, dead or alive, right? The Christianity says, man, God can dictate my life. Only God can dictate my life because he is my creator. He's the one that knows me. He's the one that knit me together in my mother's womb. He's the one who made me, fearfully and wonderfully. And so this is why I think this is a cult, right? Anything that is man-centered is a cult. That's why we say it's the cult of Ubungoma, because it's all about what the Gobela is saying. It's all about what Gogo is saying. And Gogo is just adding their own spices, and one of the worst things that we're also discovering is that, these people are actually using human body parts. There's a guy, I'll do a reaction video to him in the next coming days where I think he, a couple of years back, mentioned that when he was in Sangoma, they actually were using human body parts. And one of the most interesting stats is that 50% of all the babies that get kidnapped in a hospital are going to be used for traditional medicine. So this has got nothing to do with God. It's got nothing to do with our ancestors, but these are just cults. These are the cult of the dead, and it's got nothing to do even with the dead, but actually these are just demonic forces that are dictating and controlling people's lives. And people need to know that every time you use traditional medicine, you are actually contributing to human trafficking. You are contributing to babies being sacrificed. you're contributing basically to manslaughter. And so this is why we basically cannot even accept this practice. It needs to be uprooted out of our culture, because it's got nothing to do with being African, but rather it's a cult of dead people. This is Bisrat for Africa. We'll see you guys on the next video.